Infraglanate tubercle, it is present inferior to the glanate cavity. Supraglanate tubercle, it is present superior to the glanate cavity. So supraglanate tubercle is located here and the infraglanate tubercle is located here. So supraglanate tubercle, it gives the origin for the long head of the biceps brachii muscle. And the infraglanate tubercle, it gives the origin for the long head of the triceps muscle. When the triceps muscle is arised by the three types of the three heads, lateral head, medial head and long head. Supraglanate tubercle, it gives the long head of the biceps brachii muscle. It is in the front and the triceps muscle in the back. And the triceps muscle, it arises long head. It arises from the infraglanate tubercle. In the glanate cavity, and this is a glanate cavity and the margins of the glanate cavity, margins, it is attached by the margins. Suppose if it is this one is a glanate cavity, it is a glanate cavity, and glanate cavity margins are attached by the glanate labrum. The glanate labrum, it is attached to the glanate cavity, margins of the glanate cavity, and because what happens here, this labrum, glanate labrum, it deepens the glanate cavity and glanate cavity. The inside here, and it is attached by the articular cartilage. The articular cartilage of the is articular cartilage. Around the articular cartilage of the glanate cavity, and there is a glanate labrum is there. This glanate labrum, it deepens the glanate cavity. So, and here, and another, there is this process is there. And here there is a coracoid process. The coracoid process at the root and the root of the coracoid process, and here it receives the insertion of the pectoralis minor muscle. Here there is an insertion of the pectoralis minor muscle. Pectoralis minor muscle insertion takes place at the root of the coracoid process of the scapula, and the tip of the coracoid process of the scapula in this region, and it gives the origin for the two muscle. Pectoralis minor muscle insertion takes place, and but here and there is a two muscles. One is the short head of the biceps, short head of the biceps, and this is for the coracoid coracobrachialis muscle. So coracobrachialis muscle and short head of the biceps brachii muscles, and these two muscles, they are in the origin take place from the tip of the coracoid process by the common tendon for both of these two muscles, and along with the lateral border, and in this region, and the dorsal surface of the scapula, in the inferior to the origin of the long head of the triceps muscle, and here, and it gives the teres minor muscle. The teres minor muscle origin take place along with the medial border in the dorsal surface, inferior to this infraglanate tubercle or infraglanate tubercle. Below that there is the origin of the teres minor muscle. It is arised by the two heads. One is two heads. and two digitations. This is for the teres minor muscle. And below this, in the dorsal surface along with the lateral border, there is a origin for the teres major muscle. Teres major. So because I have said, and the infraspinatus muscle, around the infraspinatus muscle, and here there is the origin of the longitudinal triceps. In the lateral side, there is a teres minor. In the lateral side, by the two digitations, and the teres major in the lateral side. Inferiorly, there is a latissimus dorsi, and medially, and there is a rhomboides major, and superiorly, there is a origin of the deltoid muscle. And these things are located around the infraspinatus muscle origin. And this is concerned about the attachment on the dorsal surface of the scapula. Next is a ventral surface of the scapula. So here what happens in the ventral surface, and from the superior medial angle to the inferior angle, there is a origin for the insertion for the serratus anterior muscle. Serratus anterior muscle originates from the upper 8 ribs, outer surface of the upper 8 ribs. Insertion takes place along with the medial border in the ventral surface of the scapula. So here you see, this is the ventral surface here, because there is a rib impressions are there, so it is called by the ventral surface. It is a triangular in shape. And here there is a insertion of the serratus anterior muscle. Serratus anterior muscle is here. It arises from the upper 8 rib outer surface, and they goes towards the back side. The insertion takes place in between the thoracic cage and the medial surface, in the anterior surface, and along with the left between the medial border, ventral surface, along with the medial border, from the superior medial angle to the inferior angle of the scapula. Entire dorsal surface along with the medial border, and there is an insertion of the serratus anterior muscle. And in the middle here, and this is the area for the serratus anterior muscle. And this is for this one. It is for the subscapularis muscle. Subscapularis muscle. Subscapularis muscle, it arises from the subscapular fossa or ventral surface of the scapula. And another, there is a capsular ligament of the shoulder joint. Capsular ligament. And here around the margins of this glenine cavity, and insertion takes place in the neck of this humerus. So here what happens? And this capsular ligament of the shoulder joint, and that is attached in the medial. It has two ends. This one is a lateral end, and this side is a medial end. And this is a upper border, and this is a lower border. So this one medial end, that is attaching along with the margins of the glenine cavity of the scapula, and lateral end, that is attaching on the humerus, and superiorly, this is upper border, and this one is a lower border. So here what happened? Here it gives the origin for in the supraglenine tubercle. It gives the origin for the long head of the biceps brachii muscle. So this long head of the biceps brachii muscle, it is arising inside the shoulder joint. Shoulder joint is formed by the articulation of the head of the humerus with the glenoid cavity, and that articulation that is called by the shoulder joint. And it means this long head of the biceps muscle, it is arising inside the shoulder joint, inside the capsule of the shoulder joint. It pierces the capsule of the shoulder joint, and then it comes and outside of the capsule of the shoulder joint. So superiorly, this capsule and it is related with the long head of the biceps brachii muscle. And inferiorly, and infraglenoid tubercle here, and infraglenoid tubercle, it gives the infraspinatus muscle. Long head of the triceps muscle, and long head of the triceps, and below this and at this region there is a circumflex humeral arteries, that is accompanied by the circumflex humeral vein, and posterior circumflex humeral artery, posterior circumflex and humeral vein, anterior circumflex humeral artery, anterior circumflex humeral vein again, and along with this, and there is a axillary nerve is there. Axillary nerve, it is going to supply the shoulder joint. If the shoulder, it supplies the shoulder joint, and it also supplies the deltoid muscle. It also axillary nerve also it supplies to the teres minor muscle. So this is concerned about the origin and insertion and attachment on the ventral and dorsal surface of the scapula.